Hello, welcome to Video Mania 2. I'm the man behind the counter, Duncan, and today we're going to talk about a movie that came out in the theaters for about 2 weeks and then fell off the radar, and I think that's a shame because I think it's really good and I really enjoyed it a lot. It is Fall, starring Grace Caroline Curry, Virginia Gardner, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It's directed by Scott Mann. Now, this movie, like I said, came out in the theaters, and a lot of people that were there said they kind of got sick from watching it, and I think had I seen it in IMAX, might have made me a little dizzy. But the movie, for some reason, when I saw a trailer in the theater for it did intrigue me, and this type of movie usually isn't my thing, but for some reason this one captured me in a way. So I did rent it, and I picked up the Blu-ray, so I'm going to talk about that as well. The movie, the plot, pretty simple, just like the trailer says and the title says. It's about two girls played by Grace Caroline Curry and Virginia Gardner, and they're kind of adrenaline junkies, but they were on a climb earlier with Becky's husband, and that's played by Grace Caroline Curry. Both actresses here are excellent. And they go on a climb, and her husband falls to his death, so a year later, she's isolated, she's drinking, she's depressed, she doesn't do anything, she doesn't live anymore. And Becky comes out of nowhere and says, we're going to get through the fear together. And she's a YouTuber. She has a following, doing adrenaline stuff, different kind of stunts and stuff. And she's like, look, you're going to get back on the horse here. So she drags her out to this radio tower that's 2,000 feet high. And this is where you kind of have to put the logic on hold a little bit, because when I saw the tower, I mean, I could probably get tetanus just from looking at the thing. Like, I've been like, first off, I wouldn't climb something that high. I'm not great with heights, so I couldn't climb it to begin with. But when seeing that tower, how rusty it was, it looks like, and it didn't look very stable. Didn't inspire a lot of confidence. This looks like Joe Rogan could do one of his big kicks and the whole tower would come down. I was like, I'm not getting on that, even if I was an experienced climber. But for the sake of the movie, they go. And they start climbing, and things go well at first, and she's struggling. Becky is, and Hunter's encouraging her along, but she's getting through it. And then, where I'm not giving anything away here, the ladder gives out, and they are at the top. And they were filming, and things were looking good. And then when the ladder gives out, how are they going to get back down? There's no cell reception up there. They have to use their resourcefulness to get down. And this is where the suspense kicks in, because you're like, what are they going to do? How are they going to get down? And I was invested in the characters. It establishes them really well. The only drawback to this movie to me was the pacing sometimes. If they had shaved about 17 minutes off, you'd have had the perfect suspense movie. So at times it dragged a little bit. And there were some things that they foreshadowed early in the movie, and there were some twists that I could see coming. I'm like, I know what's coming here. But then, to make up for it, there were a couple twists, especially one of them, I never saw coming. And so I was like, okay, this movie is pretty damn good. So, overall, I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I picked it up. Now let's talk about the Blu-ray and picture itself. The Blu-ray picture is very good and very convincing. And the thing I did like, and they showed this in the behind the scenes on the special features here, they did build an actual tower. Not a 2,000-foot tower, more like a 100-foot tower, near a cliff. And, with some, different camera angles, it looked very good. It wasn't just like this 10-foot pole and then a green screen area. So that was very convincing here. And another thing is they use like this new AI deep fake technology or whatever, because the actresses were cursing a whole bunch and they wanted it to make it PG-13. They were dropping F-bombs, so they went back and were able to change their mouse, and then they overdubbed it, which is interesting but kind of scary too, that they can do that now. Like, they can convincingly make you look like you're saying something that you actually didn't. So I don't know about that one, but it worked for this movie. Now, like I said, with the final twist, it really captures you. I think it's good, but If this movie, if heights really isn't your thing, maybe you might want to skip it. But I really enjoyed it. I'm not great with heights, and I think watching it at home theater, it was okay. So I could do it. And the actresses are so good, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan plays Becky's dad. He's real good in the brief role, but you're just on board the whole time with how are they going to get down. And like I said, other than the pacing, everything else here is very well done, and I think it deserves some more recognition. So if you like older movies, ones that are, or even newer movies that have fallen under the radar, please give Video Mania 2 a like and subscribe, and thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.